It's free. So what's selling now? What's the new hot topic? Of course, white America is scared of wokeness and scared of, critical race theory, which, if you asked that a year ago, nobody was talking about fucking critical race theory. Nobody, the black
yeah, man. Hey, I actually do want to hear your thoughts on that, because you are in Virginia, and Virginia was being used as poster child for what's going on for the midterms.
And they did it really well, unfortunately. Like, if you look at how Virginia's set up, right? Virginia has like 2 or 3 of the richest counties in the nation, in terms of home ownership, buyership, $800,000, $900,000 houses and stuff like that are here. So they pretty much scared the suburbanites, or to be more specific, the white mob suburbanites, into thinking like, oh, my white child's identity is going to be wiped out if we teach critical race theory, which is nope. If you ask any typical person what critical race theory is, they can't tell you. And essentially what it's supposed to boil down to is saying that, okay, the founding of America was founded on a critical basis on the backs of indigenous and African population, which created the country. And it should be taught that way. If you learn from it, you're able to do something about it, right? But nobody's breaking it down like that eloquently. They're just saying, oh, critical race theory as a negative. And it's like, if you were to go into some of these town halls and these meetings at these board of education meetings, if you surveyed 100 white people, by the way, it has been done. I think Howard did a study. Only 9 parents could tell you out of 100 what it meant. And so Virginia's being used, and it's getting that traction in the media, and they want that because, no offense, if you look at most of the heads of these media corporations, even if you look at CNN, which leans Democratic, even if you look at MSNBC, which is a kind of a Democratic thing, the people who run it, the really rich people who run it, are Republican minded. So that's why you see that constant filter of critical race theory in the media all the time. And you see the framing of the Jacob Blake shooting, aka Kyle Rittenhouse, in the media the same way.
Yep. And so my question always be, what's the bigger play? Why do it like this?
They're trying to get a civil war popping.
No, look.
Just that
I think it's bigger than that though.
It's just
like
what
they displayed Jacob Blake. They displayed him as a criminal, but with Kyle Rittenhouse, whatever his name is, they talking about him like he's more of a team, and they portraying him more not as a criminal and his past and stuff. They like, oh, he made a mistake and all this stuff like that. And they're trying to like play it up more that he just white. There's a difference on how they talk about white people and how they talk about black people.
I don't know about that, because Kyle Rittenhouse is getting trashed. The memes are crazy. No, he's getting trashed by everybody.
I just think it's kind of interesting if you just talk about the media. I mean, there's something that happened with Trump, and I'm not going to try and mention his name too much because he's not important, quote unquote, to what we're talking about right now. But the National Enquirer makes their money off the backs of salacious stories or whatever. And it was interesting the amount of stuff that they kept off of Donald Trump over the years, because he would pay them, because those stories will make them lose money, right? Whereas all of the stories that are in the media right now about the division of America, like, no offense, if we're really being honest about it, like, black people keep up with the news and we spend money on media and all this type of stuff, but not the same way that Caucasian people do. Like, no offense, when I don't want to say consider World Star media, but it is media. We will absorb our own media. All the type of stuff that they're trying to portray, we're not absorbing. But, on the daily news, if they're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, they're talking about Jacob Blake, they're talking about critical race theory, they're talking about Charlottesville, poor white people, middle class white people, they're eating that up. They buy it every day because they know that the population is shifting and it's changing, and they're going to be the minority, and they want to be in the know about that, so they're eating that up.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess that leads back to Trump question. What is the big play?
I mean, they're players that make the bottom line is dollars, of course. It makes money.
Of course. But how they plan on getting it through these means of whatever the fuck they doing, just fucking with people.
I mean, the end result is for them to have a Republican president with a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate, and for them to be pretty much be able to run roughshod with how they spend money.
But see,
I mean, they had a Republican president and they had a Republican Senate, but they didn't have a Republican Congress.
No, he had a Republican House. The Donald Trump first 2 years, he had all that. He had all the power, Supreme Court and all. It just that, you know, Congress don't do anything. Just like they don't do anything now. The Democrats had all the power. They finna lose it, but they have all the power. But
and I tell you what, my conversations when it comes to politics, especially here, man, for a year straight, I worked in the heart of Trump country here, and it's just amazing to me that the intelligence of people being informed about whatever. Like, no offense, I'm even if it doesn't involve me. Like, no offense, Kyle Rittenhouse doesn't really involve me, and I try not to let it matter that much in my life. But it's
I mean, like, I don't really care what happens to him. I'm just talking about the coverage of the story. That's what gets me.
That kind of leads me to my point, because it's like,
don't watch the news.
I'm so sick of it just churning. I wish that the common everyday American, aka Caucasian Americans, were sick of it too. They like, look, no offense, I want to turn the page so bad on half the crap that's in the news, but I don't think they really understand.
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
Honeydew list, you gotta love them.